fresh out the theater, this time with the drama. Will be spoilers all throughout this video, so if you don't want no spoilers, go ahead and leave. Go ahead. Starring Robert Pattinson and Miss Zendaya. Miss Zendaya. This movie, the drama, is basically about this newlywed couple. They're getting married. It's just going so great. Like Zendaya, aka Emma, she's just like she's really calming. She's super funny, witty. Like she's beautiful, gorgeous, and you know, most of our point of view is from the point of view of Charlie, and Charlie's writing his vows. Oh, my wife, she's my future wife. She's so amazing. She's beautiful. She's great. The way it's great. I love her. I love her. I love her. Then they having their little wine tasting stuff for the wedding and stuff, and with their friends, Rachel and Mike. They're with Rachel and Mike. Rachel basically baits Mike. She's like, Mike, tell him about that one thing you did. Mike is like, bro, I really don't want to talk about that. Mike basically says that, girl, I let this girl get bit by a dog because I used her as a human shield. They're like, it was like, oh wait, Rachel, you go. Tell me what's the worst thing you did. Rachel says, I locked a disabled boy in the closet. She didn't say that. She said, she didn't say this exactly. She said he was slow. She was like, but he was slow. I locked him in the closet. The dad came looking for him. I literally couldn't say that I locked him in the closet. I was just doing it for funsies. And then Charlie basically says, I did some messed up thing. I really this dude. He literally moved away. I don't think it had anything to do with, wait, he's not American. He's British. I don't think it has anything to do with me. I think it was a coincidence that he happened to move town after I was doing cyberbullying him and stuff like that. Zendaya's like, you know, Charlie's like, girl, my wife, my future wife, what did you do? Back when I was 14, kind of planned what we gonna say? I planned, that's unserious, hold on, this is a serious topic. I'm gonna say it this one time just so y'all can know what I'm talking about. I didn't. Hold on. Okay, I gotta take myself out the cement. Okay, let me explain it now. Emma goes on to say that Emma planned she planned on doing that. I was like,
you done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
I expected her to say that, oh, I've been cheating on you with Mike. I love Mike. That's what I expected her to say. I said, girl, what? She says this. She was like, but I didn't end up doing it, though. I didn't end up doing it. Rachel's like, what is wrong with you? My cousin literally got shot in a school assembly. No, my cousin, well, yeah, my cousin is disabled because of a school assembly. Rachel is the same person who locked a mentally disabled boy in the freaking closet. She's mad about, I'm not, okay, now I seem crazy because it seems like everybody's wrong here. Everybody is wrong. There is no, I know some people are taking a liking to, I like Zendaya's character, it's just that. Y'all, I can't see past it where I'm like, hold on, y'all. I can't get into my opinion without explaining the plot, okay? Let me finish the plot. That happens. Rachel's like, Mike, we're leaving. They leave. Basically, there's all this judgment to them. Mike and Rachel now, they're basically judging her. Charlie's he's like, oh, I gotta get out of here because she's like crazy. You know, but crazy thing about Charlie, he doesn't address it at all. He just sits there and he's just like, and eventually he does end up asking her questions because he starts seeing her as violent. He's just thinking about all the time she's been violent and things like that. How she's always been kind of aggressive. I put that in quotations for a reason because like all the instances was normal amounts of aggression. He was like what if you kill me? I just don't. All of his worries wasn't with whether or not she would do that currently, and it was more, what are people gonna think of me because I'm with a person who thought to do something like that, who thought, keyword thought. She did plan it. She did not go through it, which leads me to the point where he finally asked her, why were you about to do that? She was like, my family was moving around. She was very lonely, very isolated. She was obsessed with the quote-unquote aesthetic of it. I was like, what? The actual demented... She was like, I was obsessed with the aesthetic. I'm going to get into her character too, because, yes, I get people trying to empathize with the complex female character. Obviously, she has grown as a person, Emma. I'm going to get into the stuff I really don't like. I really don't like, but for the most part, I really like this movie. This movie's great. She's like, I was isolated. I was obsessed with the aesthetic of it. Emma also went on to say that she was bullied. She was being bullied by people at the new school. She was constantly moving military stuff. And she was like, I was planning on doing it. She was fully about to do it on this one day she was at school. Then all of a sudden, they come in, a teacher comes in and was like, there's been a school shooting. One of your classmates is involved in it and has passed away. Basically, she sees the way this affects everybody. Up until this point, Emma has, when she was 14 and she was thinking about doing the thing, up until this point, Emma has proven to have only been thinking about herself in the sense of the school shooting. In my perspective, this is just my perspective of her psyche. I'm no expert, obviously. It was weird because Emma, she starts seeing everyone crying. She's kind of shocked. I'm like, why are you shocked? This hurts people. And I'm just like, she didn't clock that it hurts people and it affects their families and stuff. For some reason, Emma didn't really understand that, which I wish the movie went more in depth into why she didn't think about how this might affect other people. It was just an inward thing. Now, I'm going to give you why I think it was just an inward thing she was thinking, which she was planning on doing. Why it was inward. She didn't think about the consequences it has for the people around her. Because in Emma's mind, I feel like she saw it as a suicide. I'm trying to filter myself. She saw it as a kind of self-offing versus I'm taking away people's lives, I'm hurting other people. Not me. Hold on. Not me. Emma. She saw it as a way of she's not hurting other people, she's hurting herself, which is this old mental thing. I'm just like, that's how I view it. After she explains this to Charlie's less freaked out. He's like, she was obviously going through it. I didn't finish my story. Hold on. Allow me to finish Emma's background because you might be like, that's not enough. Actually, let me explain this next part. Emma starts to get really torn up about her own ideations about doing the thing. About doing thinking about doing that thing. She starts to tear herself up about it. The school starts having assemblies and stuff about it. Emma starts crying like she's tore up. She's like tore up on the inside, which understandable. She's tore up on the inside about even the mere thought that she could do something like that. She was like, I feel like it was a self-hatred going on. Everybody around her is like, she's obviously affected by what happened with the person passing away. Everybody starts hugging her. Eventually, somebody invites her to a anti-gun meeting at school. Emma becomes a part of the anti-gun stuff. She becomes an activist of being anti-gun. She still had held this secret of that type of ideation that she had for most of her life. I'm trying to be as serious as possible. I usually am silly goofy. I find this topic to be very, very serious simply because this is a living experience, a living trauma that is currently happening. Anxieties that really happen. I remember, I'm just going to give my personal anecdote. When I was in high school, I was very scared around my senior year because there had been another mass. I just remember being so anxious sitting in school, just ready for it to get out the bell because I was like always afraid something was going to happen. That type of anxiety is very scary. I've never thought about it from the person who does it because the person who does it in my eyes is always evil. They are. And that's just how I feel. You don't have to feel that way. Me personally, I think Emma's ideation was awful. I feel like in her own way, I'm not going to say she undid her wrongs because I'm not God or anything. I'm not the moral justice police. Like, I don't freaking know. I feel like Emma, she did things so she could get her mind out of that dark place that it was in when she was 14. Emma's now 28. I believe so is her partner, Charlie. They're 28. They're getting married. Charlie's like, I understand that a bit more. He was less... It turns into paranoia from this point. Not paranoia towards Emma, paranoia to what other people think, and amplifies. Because that was there before with Rachel and Mike. At this point, Rachel has completely cut off Emma. Rachel was supposed to be the bride, the maid of honor. Rachel was a fake B word, to say the least. She is a fake B word. You might be like, Kylie, no way the person do you think she's a fake B? She is a fake B word because first off, she did something really messed up as well. Emma just had the thought of doing something. Well, it wasn't even just a thought. She was thinking about doing something bad. Rachel did something bad. She did something bad. Now, with Emma, it seemed like a mental problem. Obviously, it is. I don't know too much about this. I would. I'm not even gonna get into hypotheticals if I was in anybody's shoes. Rachel's a B word because she's using this situation that Emma revealed to her as a crutch to outwardly not like Emma. Something in the beginning, in the first beginning sequences of the movie, before we even know anything, we see Zendaya's character. She's essentially crying, thinking about making her wedding vows and stuff like that. Rachel's basically like, you're so ugly when you cry. First off, the actress is Zendaya. Obviously, Emma's not ugly. I was just like, put that in my back pocket. She's obviously in some way envious. If not envious, she's just a hater. She just hates Emma. She hates Emma for who she is, even though Emma hasn't done anything to her, right? Then, now we've established that Rachel's a hater. Charlie goes to Rachel and Mike and essentially begs them. He begs them. He's like, I want you guys to come to the wedding. I want you guys to come to the wedding. They're like, Mike is high-key spineless. Rachel literally has him like this. It's like, we're not going. Charlie's thinking in his head, they don't want to come to the wedding. I want them at the wedding. I don't want them to think I'm crazy. I don't want them to think my wife is crazy. He's like, you know, this is where Charlie lies. I wanted to be clear that Charlie lies in this moment. He says her best friend who passed away near her literally died in front of her. She was dealing with that depression and made her think those things to do the mass to think about it. Rachel's like, obviously I'm not an a-hole. I guess I'll go to the wedding. Charlie's like, yes, I'm so happy that you guys have reconsidered and stuff like that. Yeah, so that happens. And my thing about that is Charlie, I was so frustrated with Charlie in that moment because I was like, first off, they don't need to come to the wedding, especially if Charlie, you yourself, the person, Charlie, you were like, my wife had that, my future wife thought all those things. I'm still accepting her for who she is. You trying to get these people to accept who she is, you're too focused on the outward versus what you're dealing with. Now, I understand his moral dilemma. I would be, and I want to be 1,000% clear, I would be just like Charlie. Let me not say, maybe not all the way. I'm saying that I understand his conflictions. My thing is, Charlie, you could have left. I understand him being like, I don't want her to hurt me. You could have left. If it was truly something that conflicting to you, you could have been like, you could have said, I don't know if it's the time for marriage anymore, or you could have been like, I just don't think this is gonna work. That's what he should have done. The following actions that Charlie does is so frustrating to me. It's so frustrating to me. Charlie goes on to continue to he asks one of his subordinates in his office. I forget her name. He asks her, he's like, so like, if your partner did essentially the scenario I just told you guys. She was like, I'd call the police. Something else that's important about his employee here. She had an affair. She cheated on her boyfriend and had an affair. and now she's with her affair partner. Charlie's like, he's like, oh, what would you do? She's like, I'd call the police. Charlie gets frustrated by this because he's like, damn it, because he actually, in his own way, he loves Emma. He hates that what Emma thought about and how other people perceive what she thought about. He hates that. No, I feel so conflicted even making this video. Boggling my head. I'm going to have ending sentiments. Please do not clip any. Please do not clip. Is this about to die? Please do not clip any of this out of context because I genuinely am trying to explain it. You have to see the movie. This happens, right? He starts to get visibly upset. He starts crying. The employee's like, I don't know what's. She's like, yeah. And she starts rubbing his back. Charlie starts hugging her. I'm like, not too much. That was I literally said that out loud. I was like, oh, not too much. The hug is a bit much. Charlie rips his employee's shirts open and starts kissing her. They start kissing. It's consensual. Be clear. This is consensual. It's not right. Obviously, it's not right. They start kissing. He bends her over. I kid you not. He bends her over. He's about to bust her doonies down, but he's like, nah, I can't do that. I'm getting married. Well, you already cheated. Not to say that would make it better. Okay, now here's my thoughts on that. My thoughts on that is Charlie. Like I said earlier, Charlie had an opportunity because Emma kept on asking him. She was like, is there something wrong? Is there something wrong? Do you want to tell me something? Do you want to tell me something? He's like, if you da. She gave him ample opportunity to showcase his opinion, but never truly showed it to her. Because he's so frustrated with the situation, he's trying to find an out without directly addressing her and being like, I don't think we should be together because what you did genuinely bothers me. He doesn't do that. He chooses to cheat on her so he can have his own way of an out. He doesn't all the way cheat on her because he still to an extent he still loves Emma. He still loves her. So fast forward, we're at the wedding. They go down the altar, they exchange it. Now we're at the reception. The reception's a mess. Everybody's invited. Rachel's there, Mike's there. So is the employee that he almost slept with. Right. Emma is in the bathroom during the reception. I forget why. She's in the bathroom. She starts having a panic attack because basically Charlie started raising her anxieties about what she had told him about the mass thing that she was thinking about. He raised her anxiety about that. She goes in the bathroom. She's like, she press her head up against the door. She hears that mass shooting. She's like, what the fuck? Who told? She's like, she goes to Charlie. She pulls him away in her room. And she's like, so I wanted to, why did I just hear somebody say da-da-da-da-da-da? Charlie's like, what? Somebody said that? Who told them? Boom. Employee walks in the door. She's like, I just wanted to talk to you. She was like, I want to talk to you too because I saw that you were talking outside the door with someone. Who were you talking with? She was like, yeah. So he kissed me first. Emma's like, what the heck? You kissed who? She was like, we almost had sex. We didn't. Emma's like, what? Emma just pure walks out the room. Emma's like, what the? I don't know what's going on. Charlie's in there. He's a hot mess. Charlie is in a moral crisis. He is in a moral crisis. And the simple moral crisis was simply by being like, I don't want to marry you. I don't think I can marry somebody who thought such things. That was the simple thing to do. It's the easy to say, hard to do type of thing. Yeah, he's in crisis. Boom, we go to the later reception. You know, Emma's dad goes up and he's like, I love my daughter, da-da-da-da-da. I'm so proud of you from your activism. You've truly blossomed into a beautiful young woman, da-da-da-da. Here go Charlie. He does his speech. No, actually, here go Rachel. They're like, oh, maid of honor, do your speech. Rachel gets up there and she starts hating. Like, I can't even tell you what she said word per word, bar per bar. She's like, because some people are just bad people. You two are an amazing couple. You guys are great. No matter what mass happens. something happens at the DJ booth where something sounds like a gunshot going off. Earlier in the film, we see these visuals of the wedding. Clearly, there was a mass. People got shot at the wedding. We see that visually. So that kind of raises my anxieties. I'm like, oh my gosh, is everybody gonna carry type of stuff? That's what I was thinking. Rachel's done with her stuff, and Charlie gets up and he's like, so like I really love Emma. I love Emma. Emma's great. Yeah, I love Emma. When it's so good. It's so, people are just like, what the heck is going on? What is he on? Charlie's like, yeah, and I didn't sleep with what's his face, the employee. He said I didn't sleep with my employee. Everybody's like, what? The employee, she's still at the wedding. She's there, and she's like, her partner's beside her. Mind you, this is the same partner she had an affair. She cheated on, just right there. She chronically cheats. She's like, he's like, what happened? Tell me what happened. So he assaulted me. She just freaking lied. That, like I said before, it was a consensual situation. Even though it was an affair, it was gross. It wasn't an affair. Even though it was cheating, it was gross. It was consensual. She basically said that it was a non-consensual situation. She says it's not consensual. Bro's like, he goes up there, he's like, bro, talk to me, bro. He ain't say all that. I'm just like summing it up. He hits him in the face, like hook, line, sinker, boom. He tears Charlie up. Next thing we see is Charlie going back to their apartment. Charlie's looking for Emma. He's like, bro, where is Emma? I kid you not, after Charlie gets hit, everybody scurries. He's like, where's Emma? He goes to this diner. He's sitting up there. He orders a burger and a sandwich. He has blood all across his face, all over his tux and stuff because he got beat up. He's like, bro, I don't know where Emma is. For a moment, I get kind of scared because I'm thinking in my head, is he the one who did the mass thing at the wedding? Because why do we see that? Emma walks in. She orders something. She's wearing this orange coat over her wedding dress. Emma has this thing where with Charlie, because Charlie's very awkward. He's a very anxious person, if you couldn't tell. He's very awkward and anxious. Whenever he has one of his moments and stuff like that, she's like, let's start over. It was the first thing she did when they met. I didn't even tell you guys their meet cute because their meet cute was like actually really cute. It's crazy that I'm talking about it in this way. Their meet cute was very cute. She's deaf in one ear due to her planning that. She shot off a gun practicing. She went deaf in one ear. But when he met her, he was like, I want to talk to you about this book. And she was like, girl, well, I don't know what you. Let's start over. Then it's kind of a callback to that. So at the end, they're kind of sitting there. She's like, let's start over. Hi, my name is Emma. He's like, my name is Charlie. And that's kind of where we're left off. We're off to assume that they just start over their relationship and stuff like that. I've been seeing a lot of discourse online. I read one Substack article on it. I'm trying to choose my words slightly. I also watch YouTube videos about it in different perspectives and stuff like that. While I was watching, I did not like Rachel at all. I hated Rachel from the moment she said that Emma was ugly crying. I was like, weirdo. Emma, I want to believe that she has moved on mentally from it. I found that everybody around Emma was not asking her the right questions. Nobody was asking her the right questions. Because my first question after she dropped the bomb, let me not say that, after she told us what she had thought about doing, I was like, did you go to therapy? Have you spoken to anybody about this? That was my first thought. I was like, do your parents know? Did you talk to anybody? Does your therapist know? Were you in therapy for this? That's what I thought about. I just found that Charlie especially, he was so caught up on what other people were perceiving it as. He didn't ask her the questions to where he could be secure enough to know that she's in a better place now. He didn't ask her those questions to see where she's psychologically at right now. He just assumed she's still that way, she's still that, and things like that. Now I'm going to separate myself from the story. We're not going to talk about the story anymore. We're moving on to the visuals of the movie. The main visuals and themes. So the visuals and themes. Obviously, it has this thing of some people feel morally superior to other people based off things, judging other people for what they have done or thought. It is easy to think those things, that you're better than someone else because you didn't think those things. In the beginning, especially with Rachel, we acknowledge the fact that Rachel did a messed up thing. She did a really messed up thing. We acknowledge that. Right? She doesn't seem to acknowledge that herself. She's just like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. Basically trying to minimize her actions. Versus with Emma, she kind of acknowledges that she, not even kind of, she overtly acknowledges like, it was wrong. I shouldn't have thought those things. I've moved past it. I liked Emma a lot before I knew about what she had thought about. This is not to get mad at people who have dark thoughts or dark ideations like that. I can understand why she had those dark ideations and things like that based off what she was going through. I'm more confused at her lack of empathy, which proves to be a mental issue, I believe. That might have been a result of her depression, because she did admit to having depression at that time. I was just so confused by it, even my own morals being like, because me personally, I think all those people who do those things are absolutely insane and crazy, and there's something wrong with them, and we need to stop giving people excuses, just mental health, and being basically coddling these people for what they think or do. I don't think that's productive to coddle. There is something to be said about people who have ideations about doing things, how we just don't talk to people about the ideations that they have. Because I just found it, the most like unsettling thing about this to me was that Emma didn't speak to anybody about this up until that point. Nobody knew what she was thinking about and planning on doing. That's kind of scary to me. And then I put myself in Charlie's shoes of, you're with someone, you find that out, and you're just like, even though that's the person you love, I'm just like, I don't think, this is just me, I don't think I would be able to continue the relationship. This is where my issue with Charlie kind of comes from. He continued to be with Emma even though he knew what she did was obviously bothering him. It was bothering him deeply. At no point did he suggest, Emma, I think you should be in therapy. Emma, I think you should do this and do that. He was just kind of like, he was being avoidant the entire time. I feel like that was just not productive at all to what was going on. Y'all, this was such a heavy movie to watch. Especially I know a lot of people say it was really funny. And yes, the parts that were funny were funny. It just kind of leaves me sitting like, I don't know how to feel. I'm kind of like indifferent about everyone. I really got agitated and annoyed by Charlie's character after he cheated on Emma because of his lack of confrontation to his actual issue with what Emma did. Emma, what she did was wrong. It was obviously a mental thing. Like, she seemed to grow from it, but this is what people said online. I feel like the reason I'm mostly indifferent to Emma, and I feel like I have no insight as to what she was thinking as an adult. I didn't realize that till I went online and people were like, I kind of just didn't get insight into that. Although I personally do not find it to be as important, not what she's thinking as an adult. Yeah, it is important, of course, it is important. I feel like the point of the movie was to get people thinking as to why these type of mass murders happen. To get people thinking as to why that happens. I think that was the point of the movie, just to get your gears pumped on that. You don't have to really understand the psyche of why people think the things they do. We just have to ask why. What can we do to heal those type of problems with young people? I think that was the point of the movie, in my opinion. Emma, I just don't know how to feel about her because she did not do anything. She didn't do it. She obviously grew from it. I just know the characters I don't like, which is Rachel, that employee. I don't like the employee because she sat up there and she lied. It was a consensual situation. She lied on Charlie saying that it wasn't consensual, even though it was. I don't like Rachel because they have the tendency, this is based off social media posts, of course. Substack articles is like weaponized white women. They were just pulling the white women card. It's giving white woman scared. It's giving white woman scared. They were constantly pulling the white woman scared thing. I just wasn't feeling it at all. I was just like, bro, no. Yeah. And because Rachel also was jealous of Emma in her own way. Mike was so spineless the entire time. I liked that. I will tell you one thing I did like about Mike. I like that Mike told Charlie. He told him straight up, if because he knew that Charlie found it problematic. He was like, just go, just leave. You can literally leave. And he told him that from the get-go. That's most of my issues with Charlie. He was told he can leave. He knows he can leave. He chose to stay. Why? I can't help but question if he actually loves Emma. Those are my thoughts. I just don't. It's crazy because I've been trying to give myself to ruminate and think about it, how I truly feel, and give a nuanced take. I'm not a very nuanced, takey person. I feel like I'm just here to share my input to prove that there are people who are just truly in the middle, because I don't know how to feel, especially with Emma, especially with Charlie, because I understand it, but I don't like you, Charlie. I understand it, but I hate you, Rachel. Genuinely, I do hate Rachel. I don't understand it. I hate the employee too. I hate Mike too. Shoot, I hate everybody. Everybody gets hate. Y'all, this movie makes my head hurt because it makes me think. It's kind of hard to genuinely talk about this movie because it will be if you say a certain thing, it might be met with, why would you think? But it's easy to think black and white on this. It's genuinely so morally gray to me. Like, it's something that feels like it's beyond my grasp as a normal person. Like this, I want to see a psychologist break down what's happening in the movie. Yeah, I want to see that. This movie got me thinking about it and stuff. Now I'm gonna get into the visuals of it. I loved certain visuals in this movie. I loved the parts where they're taking their photo shoot pictures and really awkward. Robert Pattinson's holding Zendaya, aka Emma. He's holding Emma. It turns into the 14-year-old Emma. It turns into 14-year-old Emma. And he's basically walking around and he's like, I've been with this person who thought these terrible things. It's just her 14-year-old self and all her dark thoughts. I thought that was one of the best visual elements of the thing. The worst ones, I feel like, were it was during the wedding. There was a visual motif of Emma essentially not only in a magazine doing that because he was tweaking. He also had a vision of her that on their wedding night, she's in lingerie, she's like doing all the and in her hand. I just didn't like that part. You might be like, Kylie, why didn't you like that part? I found that part to be problematic, simply because this whole thing is saying that the reason Emma felt so enticed to do that dark thought was because of the aesthetics it was presented on social media, how that social media gave her a sense of community, even though she didn't have that in real life, as messed up as that is. Because of the aesthetics of it. She literally said that. She was like, maybe it was the aesthetic of it. You have a clip like that where it's sexualizing that thought as well. I was just like, that it completely expels the point that you were trying to make. If you have her sitting up here in her with the thing, you're essentially glamorizing it inadvertently. Inadvertently, you're glamorizing the thought of doing that thing. I feel like the film would have been 10 times better, in my opinion, if that visual was left out. It should not have made the final cut, in my opinion. I feel like it goes against the point that Emma was trying to make in the beginning. Even though it technically made sense, it was I don't even want to say that. It was well shot. I was just like, this is glamorization. That's going against what you're saying the point of the movie is. I just didn't like that part. A part of me, not even a part of me, I do feel like Emma deserves better. Someone who's more understanding of her mental space at that time, because obviously Charlie didn't understand it. And he shouldn't have stayed with her if he didn't get it. He didn't have to get it if he wasn't accepting of the fact that she has dark thoughts and isn't always happy-go-lucky all the time. That's my opinion. That once again is an open ending. We don't really know if they're together again or not, or they're just restarting a friendship. Those are my thoughts about the movie. Please tell me what you think down below. I know this is an abrupt ending. Genuinely, I've said all I needed to say. I'm very indifferent. It was a great movie. I can say that. It was a great movie. Definitely, I was entertained the whole time. Got me thinking. I don't think it's a favorite. I wouldn't rewatch this. I might rewatch it just to gain a different perspective. I can't say that. It's just a hard situation. I just want to know what you would think you would do in this situation. I'm extremely indifferent about it as the characters and stuff. The movie was amazing. Yeah. Thank you for coming with me straight out in theater. This is the most serious review I think I've done since the series has started. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess this is it, y'all. Bye. Thank you for coming to Show and Tell. Like, comment, and subscribe.